Welcome, kiddos, to Crimes in America. So today what we're going to learn about is so far we've been talking about what is a crime, what are the four components that makes up a crime, what are the mindsets or intentions, right? Specific intent, general intent, what is negligence. We've been learning about different forms of crime, and we also learned about the purpose behind punishment, right? There are four reasons why a judge would punish somebody for their crime. It's retribution. It could be rehabilitation. It could be incapacitation. It could be incarceration. It's whatever the judge thinks is most appropriate punishment for the crime. So today we're going to learn about a specific type of crime in America, and it's called murder. So let's get started. Follow along in your lecture notes. There are arrows next to the boxes that you need to fill out for each slide. So the most famous and the infamous type of murder that exists in America is called a first-degree murder. Okay, first-degree murder it's the worst form of murder. So this is the worst murder type of murder you can commit in America, and it contains three parts. It's deliberate, it's premeditated, and it's done with malice aforethought. It's often called cold-blooded murder. Why is it cold-blooded? Well, so when we're really thinking about the three requirements to a first-degree murder, sorry about that, the freaking Zoom. There's three categories. So number one is called deliberate. So when you are committing murder, when you're killing somebody, you need to be deliberate, which means you are purposeful. You know exactly what you are doing, right? You are deliberately, on purpose, killing somebody. You know that murder is taking place. That's the first requirement. Second requirement is that it's premeditated. You planned about killing, right? That's the difference, kiddos, between a first degree and a second degree murder is that premeditation is I carefully planned out how and when and why I'm going to kill somebody. That means you are consciously killing someone. You know you're killing somebody. And that's why first degree murder is the worst form of murder. Because you know you're trying to kill someone. And you know exactly how you want to do it, and you planned it out. So premeditation is the second requirement. And the third requirement is malice aforethought, which means it's malice intent. You knew you wanted to kill, and you killed them with the intent to harm them. You had bad intentions. So, to sum it up, what is a first-degree murder? First-degree murder has three requirements. First one is that it needs to be deliberate. You are killing someone on purpose. You know you're killing them. Number two, you planned to kill them. And number three, you wanted to harm them. You had malice intentions. That is a first-degree murder. So second-degree murder is anything that includes wanting to harm, but you didn't do it with deliberation and you didn't premeditate it. So in other words, killing with passion. In other words, you were in the moment and you killed them, right? That will be a second degree murder. Also it could be like a good example would be you have let's say Mr. King has a girlfriend, okay? Mr. King's girlfriend decided to cheat on him. When he found out that his girlfriend was cheating on him, he has malice aforethought, right? He wants to harm somebody. But I didn't plan on killing nobody. I just took a stick and smashed it on her head. I didn't think it was going to kill her. I didn't plan to kill her, but I wanted to harm her because I was angry and she died. That would be a second degree murder. Okay. Felony murder usually is any murder that involves a felony. So felony would be like Grand Theft Auto. In the process of you stealing a car, you ended up killing somebody. That would be a felony murder. You committed arson, so you lit the entire forest on fire, and during that fire, somebody got burned to death, right? That would be a felony murder. It's also like a second degree murder as well. So the other thing we're going to learn about is voluntary manslaughter. So voluntary manslaughter is when you intentionally, this means on purpose, you intentionally killed somebody, but without a malice aforethought. How does that work, Mr. King? How can you intentionally kill somebody without wanting to harm them? Well, voluntary manslaughter is usually crime of passion. That's what we call them. Killing of passion. It has three requirements. In order for something to be a voluntary manslaughter, number one, you need to be triggered by the victim. Number two, you had to act in the moment. And number three, you weren't given enough chance to cool off. So what does that mean? You walk into your house, you saw your partner cheating on you in your own bedroom. You were so triggered, you acted in the moment, you didn't have time to think about what you were doing, and you ended up killing both your spouse and their partner. That's a voluntary manslaughter because you were triggered, you were in the moment, and you acted in the moment. It's called murder of passion because it's got so much emotions, right? But then what's involuntary manslaughter then? Well, it's involuntary manslaughter is the same thing as voluntary, except it's unintentional, right? It's unintentional. So usually you drink and drive. It's usually has to do with negligence. You drink and drive. You know you shouldn't drink and drive. You know that you could get into an accident, but you still drank and drove. So that's being negligent, right? You're acting carelessly and recklessly. Now, while you're drinking and driving, you end up crashing or you run over somebody. That's involuntary manslaughter. I didn't mean to kill somebody. I didn't even have the intentions or malice aforethought. I didn't have intentions of harming somebody. But my recklessness actions, my negligent actions ended up killing someone. And that's involuntary manslaughter. Okay? So what we covered today is four types of murders, really. First degree murder that has three requirements. This is the worst form. You kill someone deliberately, so on purpose. You thought about killing someone, and you had, sorry about that, and you had malice aforethought. You wanted to harm them. Second degree murder is any murder that does not have deliberation and premeditation. You just had need to harm someone, right? A murder that so voluntary manslaughter is when you act in the moment. You have to be triggered. You act in the moment with anger. You didn't have a chance to cool off, so it's intentional. And unintentional killing without malice aforethought is involuntary manslaughter, and it usually involves negligence. Okay, cool. So here's what you guys are going to do for the rest of your class period. On Google Classroom, I have uploaded a 9.8 case scenario. So you're going to read the 9.8 case scenario, and you guys are going to then complete the sentence. This is the exit ticket. You're going to first tell me what happened between Rick and Adam. You're going to summarize the event, and then you're going to tell me whether or not first degree murder has taken place, yes or no, and why. Okay? Cool. Great job, and I'll see you guys for class.